We live in an age of movie remakes, reboots, and reimaginings, and some of them are pretty good. But when you're considering breathing new life into a 20-year-old horror novel adaptation, there's one thing you should probably not forget.
Sometimes dead is better.
Whenever you photocopy a photocopy of a photocopy, you naturally expect the quality will degrade with each generation. And that's the case with Pet Sematary, an unnecessary reboot of a mediocre 1989 adaptation of a pretty good Stephen King novel. Director Kevin Kolsch brings nothing really new to this retelling, and I left feeling like it was almost as pointless as Gus Van Sant's 1998 shot-for-shot remake of the Hitchcock classic, Psycho. What's ultimately most disappointing about this iteration of Pet Sematary is that there was some potential there. John Lithgow and Jason Clarke anchor a solid cast, and Kolsch does add some cool creepiness, most notably the parade of children in animal masks. But he never really does anything with them, and the movie suffers as a result. There are a few significant departures from the original story, including a new ending, which wasn't nearly as powerful as the original, and quite frankly left me cold. For those of us who have seen the first film or read the book, the subversion of our expectations was kind of fun, for a while, but it got to be monotonous pretty quickly. The entire first act is expository hell, taking a ton of screen time to explain a concept that's really not that hard to understand. So Pet Sematary kind of loses you by the time the story really gets rolling.
Daddy.
One shortcoming that both film adaptations of this story have is the inability to convey the moral quandary that Lewis faces regarding the Pet Sematary's power.
There's a place rage deep in the woods, beyond the Pet Sematary. It brings things back.
Are you happy, Mommy?
The angst that King writes into this character is a big part of why the book is so good, and both movies miss the mark on that. But this Kolsch reboot strips away any semblance of character development, like the conflict between Lewis and his in-laws, a pivotal part of the original story completely ignored in this version. Frankly, this retelling totally abandons character growth in favor of jump scares and gore. I imagine if you've never read the book or never seen the first film, you might find Pet Sematary somewhat enjoyable. But I find it ironic that the central theme of the movie, just because you can do something doesn't necessarily mean you should do it, was completely lost on the producers of this project. Frankly, sometimes dead is better.
We have a second chance.
Sometimes dead is better.